So before we start off, let me try to get a feel of the kind of crowd that we have. How many of you guys are doing MBA? A few. Somebody is doing half, MBA only half. Okay, now it's full. How many of you are doing BBA or undergraduate of it? Okay, a few. What are the rest of the people doing? Is it like you are professors, teaching staff? All right, so my topic today is about your career and why your career is about your choice. So why should you care about your career, right? Why should you even think about it? Because on an average, a person spends 10.3 years of his entire life, doing some sort of work, right, in his professional career. This is an overall average, but I can say that in India, probably it'll go a bit more. So you got to really understand what you want to do. The only way to do great work is by actually loving what you do, as Steve Jobs says. So it's very, very important that you understand about your career. So just a moment, take a break, think about this. Have you ever seriously thought about your career? Yes or no? Yes? No? Have you seriously thought about your career yet? Okay, why do I think that you should seriously think about your career right from the first day of your BBA, MBA, or whatever you are doing? Because the moment you are stepping into your degrees, right, you have actually started off your career. Your first year, second year, third year, and probably the 2 years after that, whatever you do with your life, whatever you do at your college, whatever connections that you make is going to take a long way for you, because it has been like that for me. I did my engineering studies from 2006 to 2010, and whatever I did during that 4 years kind of defined what I'm doing now and probably what I'll do for the rest of my life. So, it is, if you don't understand where we want to head to, what is the end point, it's pretty much the same. We take left, right, whatever, left, right, straight, whatever we take, we'll end up being somewhere, and we have no clue where we want to actually reach, right? So it's all fine. So it's important that you understand whether to take left or to take right. This by itself is a whole day of lecture, pacing your career in different phases. But I just want to give you a decision-making framework at this point of time. Just have this in your mind. You guys might be between your 18 to 30. I'm also in that thing. So for all of us, the only thing that we need to understand is between 18 and 30, that is the phase of learning. You should, whatever decisions that you take, you're going for X company, Y company, Z company, whichever company you're joining, you should aim at getting the maximum learning. 18 to 30 is dedicated for learning. Of course, if you have financial things, then that's a different story. But otherwise, go for learning. 30 to 40 is the time when possibly you should focus on some more money. And after 40, maybe you should go for status, maybe for good roles, designations. But 18 to 30, guys, have this as your decision-making framework. Go only for learning. Don't think about anything else, because whatever you learn during that phase is going to get you a lot more in the rest of your career. What is the shot that Sachin is playing now? Uppercut? Is that an old shot he started playing since 1989? Yeah. Yes, no? Yes. Yes, really? He started playing the shot in 1989? Not really. So, you know the story of Kambli and Sachin? You know Kambli and Sachin Tendulkar? Okay, Vinod Kambli and Sachin Tendulkar were considered to be at par, or probably Vinod Kambli was supposed to be a bit more with his talent or skill than Sachin. But what happened is when the West Indies was touring India, Courtney Walsh started bowling bouncers to Vinod Kambli. Till that point of time, Vinod Kambli could take any kind of balls that he gets with his pure genius, with his sheer genius. But the moment the bouncers started coming in, it was something that he has never faced in his life, and he failed. And that was probably the last test match that he played. But Sachin, on the other hand, he continued playing. Over a period of time, he started acquiring skills which he did not have, and he started playing the uppercut. Being a 5 feet 4 inch guy, he could still play all the bouncers to the perfection because he invented a skill which was not there, right? Possibly he and maybe 2 or 3 folks in the world can play the shot, right? In my personal thing, while I was at the college, I started being a student volunteer for IEEE. IEEE is the world's largest professional organization. It's fundamentally a technology engineers community that we have. We are 450,000 members across the world. And so I was a student member. I used to volunteer like the folks you see here, organizing events and inviting speakers, getting some small things done. What happened is during these events, I started doing a lot of documents, right? Documents as in the proposals, the nominations, the reports, you name it, I have done it. Presentations, every sort of document I have done it. And later on when I graduated, I went to Infosys. In Infosys, one of my initial jobs was to do something called a POC. POC is proof of concept, which means the client will ask us to do something, and then we will do a small piece of it, saying that this is a small piece of whatever you ask for, and it will actually work, and we will be able to do it for you, right? So that is called as a POC. And this POC was supposed to be documented, so I did a documentation for how I did the POC. I put some screenshots, some formatting, a table of contents, all those things I put together. And after that, probably 2 months down the line, the project went to Deloitte for some other reason, not due to my document, but for some other reason it went to Deloitte. And so we were supposed to do something like knowledge transfer, which means everything, whatever we learned, whatever we have about the project should go to Deloitte, and we did it. So all the documents went out, my POC document also went to them, and later on, from a Deloitte senior manager, my job level 11 maybe, my senior manager got an email saying that outstanding documentation with your POC, well done. Deloitte is supposed to be a kind of a rival company with Infosys when it comes to projects, and to get an appreciation from a rival company was big, right? And my senior manager started figuring out who is the guy who actually made this documentation, because I'm a fresher, just got into Infosys, and it boiled down to me saying one guy sitting in a cubicle in Chennai made this document. And on a call, during the team call, he mentioned that this guy made the team proud. Right? Just a fresher into his 6th month of his experience made the Infosys team proud, because the kind of skills that I acquired during my engineering studies through my volunteering kind of helped me to do very, very well in my career. So whatever you do, try to acquire different skills. And the next thing that is, please, okay. How many times have you heard this? Figure out your passion. Everybody comes on the stage and they'll say, guys, you got to figure out your passion, right? Everybody says the same thing. But when I also heard this, when I was sitting down there and somebody was up here and then he was saying, figure out your passion, I was like, how the bloody hell am I supposed to figure out my passion? What do I do to get this understanding of my passion, right? And then later on, I figured it out, how to figure out my passion. The only way to figure out our passion is by trying different things. And the best thing about your phase is that you are in the right phase to try different things. You have the cushion of your parents. You are in the cocoon of your college. So you are in a very, very, pampered place where you can afford to make mistakes, right? In the corporate world, one email with a wrong person copied may screw your career, which is not the case here. Even if you screw up the email that you sent to me, Jofin, or any other speakers over here, you are fine, because we will not be screwing up your career, right? So this is the avenue for you guys to make mistakes and learn. So you should try different things, which maybe you guys got to volunteer for different things, a blood bank or medical camp or an event like this. Be an intern in a company. Make sure that when you get out, before you get out of your college, get an internship. Our industry academia gap is so wide that without having an internship, you will never understand what's happening in the industry. The people who told you have seriously considered about your careers, how many people actually know what is happening in the industry that you're going to join? Exactly, day to day, what are you going to do in the industry? I'm pretty sure not many of you know it. I was also like you guys. When you say HR of a company, you really don't understand what is an HR. And whatever you perceive is the work by the HR is not actually the work that they are doing. They are mostly doing Excel sheets, right? So you got to understand what is happening in the industry, and internship is one primary thing that you got to do. Travel. Travel doesn't mean that you catch a flight from here, go directly to Mumbai, and then go to Taj Hotel, and then stay there, take a flight back. No. Backpack, get a backpack ready, a small pack where you have a couple of dresses, and then jump on a train and go. I don't know whether you read this. In a recent article, it says that Steve Jobs advised Mark Zuckerberg when he was unsure of what to do in Facebook to come to India, right? To figure out what to do, to understand who are you, right? We are in India, so we don't have to go anywhere, but we have to go out somewhere here to understand what is India, right? So traveling has been one primary thing which gave me a lot of learnings in sense of, in many cases, traveling is a humbling experience, right? When you think that you are a big guy, when you're an arrogant guy and all those things, you go on a travel and you kind of understand that you are nobody, right? Pretty much you're nobody. Even if you die today, nothing is going to happen. The globe will keep rotating and everything will be fine, right? So travel has given me a lot of exposure and experience. Read. The best thing is experiencing something. The second best thing is reading. Right? Like the previous speaker mentioned about his experiences, about his excavation and things like that. We were almost there. We were listening to him. We read an autobiography. We are with that person, right? So you got to read as much as possible. Read whatever you can. Read maximum different kind of topics. And then you understand that, okay, this is one topic that I'm passionate about. Write. Writing means if you got to write or if you got to present, one thing is very sure. Unless you are clear about what you are going to write or going to say, you cannot say it. Right? So when you write, the things in your head will start becoming in a clear flow. Right? That is very, very important again. And fall in love, maybe. I don't know. I recently got engaged and I'm learning a lot of things now. So maybe that's also a good thing to do. So the fundamental thing here is try different things, right? You can start a blog, you can go and talk to people, go to events, meetups, try different things, and that is the way you understand what you are good at, what you're bad at, what you actually want to do in your life. So let me give you like 2 opportunities that you should kind of look into it. Gartner is a globally known research company. And they kind of comes out with a lot of studies every year. So this is a keyword for you guys to remember, Gartner. If you go out and search, then you get a lot of research studies by Gartner. And this particular one is called Gartner Hype Cycle of 2014, which says these are all the technologies that are existing at this point of time in the world, or possibly the hyper-branded technologies. And Gartner is saying which of the ones will plateau out in 0 to 2 years, or 2 to 5 years, or 5 to 10 years, and so on. Obviously, these are a lot of things. I cannot talk about a lot of things. But let me take 1 or 2 examples out of it. Right? How many of you know about Oculus Rift? The Facebook acquired Oculus Rift. A few. Okay, the rest of you guys go and research for Oculus Rift. It's actually a thing that you fit on your eye, and it's an immersive experience. You can watch movies, you can play games, something that sits inside just in front of your eye and projects to your eye. It's a very, very immersive experience, right? And then there is augmented reality, which means like I'm standing here and I can see buildings in front of me, which is virtual. It's augmented into the living space, the augmented reality. It's a huge technology and upcoming thing. The big data or Internet of Things. How many of you heard about Internet of Things? What do you mean Internet of Things? Everything is connected. It boils down to something, sensors, right? Sensors is the future. You take it, you name it, everywhere there will be sensors. The mic will have a sensor, my code will have a sensor, my mobile already has a lot of sensors. It'll be all sensors and a lot of data. Just imagine this. For a second, let's imagine this. 100 smart cities in India, or 1,000 smart cities in India. Let's take 50 smart cities in India for now. What is a smart city? Connected devices, right? That's a smart city. The kind of data that these things are going to emit every single second is going to be huge. Petabytes of data is going to come out. But somebody needs to make sense of out of this data. Until somebody makes sense out of this data, it's useless, right? That is where you guys are coming in. When you guys can play a business analyst role who can understand the huge piles of data coming out, that is when you are going to be valuable for the organization. That is when you are going to be valuable for the country. Right? So there is going to be a huge set of jobs that are going to be created around data analysis and big data things. So that is one thing, being business folks, you got to understand. These are the trends, which is the thing that I am passionate about, where do I fit in, and then go after that particular thing. That's what I want to say with this particular slide. If you go and search for Gartner Hype Cycle, you'll find it. It's there, everywhere. The second opportunity that I want to put in front of you is the power of smartphones. How many of you understand that India is the focus for almost all the big companies in the world? Because India is growing smartphones like crazy. The next billion people is supposed to come online from India through smartphones. Their first computer is going to be a smartphone, right? The kind of computer that you used 10 years back or 6 years back or 5 years back, even more power than that particular computer I'm carrying in my pocket these days. All of us are carrying in our pocket. So, and what is more? It's all connected. We are always connected to the public web, the internet, right? So what does it mean to us? A lot of connected device, a lot of data getting generated every single second. And how can we leverage all these things? It's a huge, huge market. Anything that you do, the entrepreneur wannabes out here, guys, if you are looking for something to figure out, just go into the space. If you can go into this space and spend 18 to 24 months to understand some problem statements that you can solve with the connected power of smartphones, you're going to make it really big, because we are 1.2 billion people in this country, right? So this is one more opportunity that I wanted to present in front of you. 3 things that you got to figure out or understand when you are looking at the career. IST is not Indian stretchable time. We have to keep to time. This is something I really, really don't like, right? Whether it is an event, whether we are going for a place, it's always like we don't keep to time. A friend will tell me, come at 10:30, because he expects you to come only at 11 o'clock, and you reach at 10:15, and you are the only person there, and you wait till 11 o'clock, right? That's a stupid thing, right? Anywhere you go in the world, maybe some countries are there, but if you don't reach on time, on dot, you lose business, you lose your career, you lose your opportunity. So if you want to make one change, this is probably the best change that you can make today. Be on time from today. Next. Learn to say no. Difficult to say no in this case. I'm not trying to literally say no to this case, but understand the concept. Say no. Start saying no. We Indians have a big problem. We don't say no. We are like the humble, soft-spoken people who don't know how to say no. Be very, very outspoken when it comes to say no. If you don't like something, stand up and say, I don't like this. I don't agree to this. I don't want to do this, right? It's important to know what to do. It's more important to know what not to do. And getting focused, the first mantra of getting focused is by saying no. Right? So start saying no, not to everything, but the things which you think should be said no to. You know this guy? Michael Jordan? This guy, he has missed more than 9,000 shots, lost almost 300 games. 26 times he was trusted to take the game-winning point and he failed. But he is still a champion. Why? After all these failures, he succeeded. Why did he succeed? Because he failed. In India, we have a big taboo to failures. If I fail, then I'm nobody. Our education system is framed in a way where if you are getting a D grade, then you are screwed. You are not good for anything, which is not the case. You might have 1,000 other things. Failure is just another event. Failure is just another way of learning. Just have this in your mind. I'm sure you hear this from many other people. I have to re-emphasize it here because it takes a long time to get out of that mindset. When we started our company, we also had this thing. What if we fail, right? Then recently, or maybe for the last 1.5 years, we figured out that companies might fail, but entrepreneurs don't fail. Because the kind of skill set that we acquire during this journey, as we are passionate about whatever we are doing, the skill set that we have will make us probably the best guys out there in the business. So you get out of your company, probably the failed company, and then get out and you still get a good career opportunity, right? So failure is just another event. If you win, you lead. If you fail, you guide. Anyways, you're doing it well, right? So it's just another event. Next. The guy who is standing in a suit in front of you, I don't wear suits so often, and I was not like this. My story is equivalent to story of an idiot, because when I did my engineering the first year, towards the end of my first year is when I realized that IIT is a big college in India. It's the best college in India. I have never heard about IIT in my first year, towards the end of it. In my first year, I couldn't stand in front of my class and then tell 3 minutes of by-hearted speech. I was stammering, right? I couldn't do it. But, of course, things will change. How? You got to take that chance. You got to grab every opportunity that you had. I started volunteering. I started organizing events. I had to talk in front of people. And then I started getting good at it. And of course, there is a lot of hard work that goes into it. Every slide that you see has been, of course, it is 5 hours of my sleepless night yesterday. But before that, I have gone through SlideShare and tried to understand how to actually make a slide, right? That probably is another 100 hours of my time. So every single thing that you do, you got to invest. And then you got to be confident that you will reach somewhere, right? Next. Who am I now? I founded a company when I was 24. I just turned 27 last month. Yeah. And then I have traveled 5 continents and probably 25 cities, out of which I have lived in 10, 12 cities. I clock 100,000 air miles almost every year these days. Our team started as a 4, including Joe and myself and a couple of other college mates. And then we are growing into 15 and probably scaling up into a lot more bigger team now. And we have raised a round of funds. We have raised close to 500K in cash and worth. I volunteer for IEEE and I sit on 4 global committees. I've been doing this volunteering for 10 years now. And the most important thing that I think that I have been able to do with my life is that I found what I want to do, which is the key of whatever you want to do. If you can reach, I reached at probably 24, 25. If you can reach at 20, 21, then you are much better, right? Next. Guys, if the idiot can do it, anybody can do it. But you got to decide. Each person sitting in this room has a unique opportunity to change the world. It's not like somebody has given an opportunity to somebody and said, go change the world. No. Somebody stood up and said, I am going to change the world. And that one particular decision, one choice that one guy takes, changes the world. So each of you sitting here has all the abilities, of course. Now you understand that you are smarter than I am, because I was an idiot, right? So if you guys, the guys who are smarter than me, decides that you guys are going to change the world from today, you guys are going to do it. That's it. Thank you.